It had been a few days that my Instagram profile went dull. No matter what I posted, it didn't have that spark. But then I posted this picture and the results. I even shared some of the pictures that I clicked using this phone on my Instagram and social media. And people after that just went gaga. Amidst all this buzz, I wasn't allowed to tell these people which phone I was using to click all these pictures because of the embargo and the legalities XYZ. But now I can show you what created this magic. This is the Vivo X100 Pro, the latest flagship from Vivo's workshop. So is Vivo trying to set a new benchmark for camera phones in 2024 with the X100 Pro? Is all the megapixel might enough to make you spend all that money for a flagship phone that's dangerously creeping into a space that is being dominated right now by the iPhone 15? Sit tight as we'll give you a comprehensive lowdown in our full review of the Vivo X100 Pro and whether you should really consider buying this phone. Now, the review unit sent to us was the all asteroid black variant with a fluorite AG glass back panel that is simply gorgeous to look at and screams premium. The slightly textured finish ensures it doesn't play host to any kind of fingerprints. The sides look plush thanks to the polished metal frame. The bottom houses the SIM card slot with the USB Type-C port and speaker grill. Standard arrangement on the right with the volume rocker and the power button. Just look at this chunky circular camera island. It covers almost 30% of the phone's back and that module isn't flat. It's protruding out a couple of millimeters, embellished with chrome around, not proportionally spread out but more of a crescent. Okay, whether this looks good or not is entirely subjective, but I'll tell you what kind of problems it can create. I usually am a single-hand smartphone user, and when you can feel the upper half is heavier, you tend to lose balance and there are more chances of the phone slipping out of your hand. Not only that, but this kind of a design kind of takes a toll on your fingers because at 225 grams, this phone has that extra bulk. While the cover that's in the box helps grip the phone better, it is still top heavy, which could be a little inconvenient for people who are not used to big phones with such a design. Overall hands feel of the phone is fine apart from some of the issues that I mentioned above, but I would say that Vivo has not compromised in making sure that you get a premium experience with the X100 Pro. So this is a curved 6.7-inch AMOLED FHD Plus display. No complaints here, but mostly all praises. Offers great viewing angles, is excellent when you're consuming content on the go, be it if you're sitting on a flight or waiting for that coffee date that never arrived. I'm right now running the phone with 120Hz refresh rate, and Vivo has added something it calls V Pro Motion Tech, which is sort of more of an enhanced version of what adaptive frame rate offers. Basically, the frame rate adjusts according to the content you consume, so it can save more battery for you. The results were good. While basic scrolling or while playing heavy duty games, I could see the difference in frame rates. It didn't ruin my overall viewing experience. 3000 nits of peak brightness made sure that reading content on the display wasn't a problem even when I was under the harshest sun. We tried our display test samples on the device. As you can see, the colors pop out and there isn't an overwhelmingly saturated look like what you see in most of the Matrix movies. Colors are well balanced with maintained sharpness and contrast. Rest assured, the X100 Pro has brought its A game in terms of display. While it can take a toll on one's eyes, the experience on the X100 Pro was relatively better thanks to the anti-fatigue brightness adjustment system that is in the display. It controlled my exposure to the yellow light, and the complementary 2160Hz high frequency dimming ensured that I got better eye protection. For audio, it packs your speakers and you can hear the audio quality, which is pretty punchy for content. Overall, I would give a thumbs up to the display, and your content viewing experience won't be any kind of compromise with the X100 Pro. You have a top-of-the-line MediaTek Dimensity 9300 running this phone, coupled with 16 GB of RAM and 512 GB of onboard storage. You can have two SIMs, but no expandable storage options. The hardware complements the performance. Apps load quickly. I'm opening multiple tabs and shuffling applications without batting an eyelid. So I would say the overall experience is fun. Oh, by the way, speaking of fun, the Vivo X100 Pro runs the latest version of FunTouch OS 14 on top of Android 14. While FunTouch OS might not be everyone's favorite, I didn't really find anything wrong. I mean, my experience was quite well. Like, I got one-handed mode, which is needed on a screen this large, and also got the cool animation while charging. All customizations are available, and it's all packed well into this device. I was running high-end games with ease. However, during my testing, when I pushed the gaming session longer, it did heat up a little. The phone performed well in our benchmark tests, with it clocking more than 2 million on the AnTuTu test. And if that wasn't enough, check out these Geekbench numbers. It's pushing the boundaries when it comes to processing power. We even tested the CPU throttling app on it. The max it clocked was 3.25 GHz with no drops in clock speed. So the overall performance will not be an issue with the X100 Pro. Just make sure that if you're operating the device under extreme conditions like out in the heat, you might have problems with the heating. Otherwise, everything seems cool. You get 5G support, and that's a blessing. I was surprised when it gave me 4G connectivity in the basement of the office, a place where usually I lose the network on my other device. Calling had been fine with no call drops, and I mean, that's what you want with a phone like this, don't you? So I have no qualms in recommending a phone like this to someone who would want a heavy, hard processing smartphone in their pockets. Be it gaming, multitasking, filmmaking, the X100 Pro is more than capable of pulling its own weight. Now comes the piece de resistance, the headline maker, the camera on the Vivo X100 Pro. While it did help me bump up my social media presence a little, there's more that this camera system can offer you. This imposing camera module is home to a primary 50 megapixel Sony IMX989 sensor with OIS, a 50 megapixel ultra wide sensor with a 119-degree field of view, and a 50 megapixel periscope telephoto lens with 4.3x optical zoom and OIS. Portraits are the Vivo X100 Pro's specialty that come with immaculate edge detection, and the aperture range between f1.75 to f2.5 makes sure that you get enough depth in your images. Just have a look at some of these samples. While the regular portraits from this phone almost creep into the DSLR level territory, it can also manage when the subject is further away. Here you can see the separation between, that's my mother by the way, between her and the background. Even though she's away, the sensor has been able to distinguish between the two. And the best part is the bokeh effect is dynamic, and in the post process you can change the focus area and adjust the blur. The Carl Zeiss Tech collaboration lends a lot of expertise to this camera module. I was impressed with its low light image processing, as if it was analyzing the surroundings to process exactly how much light it's supposed to let in. Here, the bike is almost in total darkness, with the only source of light being a dimly lit tube about 10 feet away. Despite that, it's balanced the light in the background to make sure that the object, which is the motorcycle, is in focus, and the result is great. Here are some more low light samples. Landscape pictures are also top-notch with maintained sharpness in different scenarios. I played around a little with the X100 Pro's zoom capabilities. While the 100x pictures look a little over-processed, but just look at where I'm zooming into. This is how dynamic the camera is. While there are dedicated moonshot and low-light sunset shot modes available on the X100 Pro, I really don't know how many people are going to be actually using it. I mean, there are photography aficionados who might use it, but in everyday general use, not really sure. It does add a little extra saturation in some of the low light shot, but that means less post-processing work for you. These results are social media ready. Video maxes out at 8K 30 FPS, and you have 60 FPS for 4K support. Vivo's new V3 chip inside lends a portrait cinematic mode as well, which is more like an iPhone-like feature that most of the movie makers would like to experiment with. Stabilization is good enough, and I also tried capturing a fast-paced sport, which is football. I was running along the sidelines tracking the ball, and the X100 Pro kept up. Selfies also come out great, and the additional portrait mode just adds more oomph to the entire output. So this is the video recording sample 8K using the X100 Pro's rear camera, and I am right now shooting in 8K 30 FPS. So what do you think about the quality? The audio for this video is coming from the phone's microphone, so you can also have a look at the audio quality. But yeah, I also want you to have a look at the 1080p 60 FPS quality here, which is absolutely fantastic, I feel, and this camera really has impressed me. Okay, so guys, this I'm recording using the front camera of the X100 Pro, 1080p 60 FPS. I want you to have a look at the stabilization and the color reproduction from the selfie camera. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section. And I'm also going to give you a glimpse of the cinematic mode that comes with the selfie camera. Cinematic mode from the front camera, and it looks fabulous. I mean, it's keeping the focus on me, the subject, and the background is absolutely blurred out. It's using AI to track both of us. And next, I'm going to give you a glimpse of what the low light capabilities are of the selfie camera. Low light selfie video, while might not be the best, still manages to get you decent results. And here's me driving home on a bumpy road using the selfie camera at night. So is there anything bad with this camera system? Honestly, I really tried to think, but I couldn't find a deal breaker. Apart from the fact that some of the low light images might be a tad oversaturated, I really don't think that is a deal breaker for me. Hey, you're getting Insta ready pictures without the post processing. What more could you want? The X100 Pro comes with a 5400 mAh battery under the hood that supports 100 watt fast charging and wireless charging up to 50 watt. Even after a day of rigorous testing and content watching, I had about 30% juice left. So for a regular user who uses browsing, social media, and checks a few emails here and there with WhatsApp, it should easily give you more than a day's support. Charging time is fast. I was able to get 15% charge in just 5 minutes and 0 to 100 in just 36 minutes with the dedicated 100 watt charger that comes inside the box. Yeah, you get a charger in the box. Take that, iPhone. And Samsung as well. And if you have a little extra battery juice to spare, you can even charge other wireless charge support phones using the X100 Pro's reverse wireless charging feature. Yeah, just be careful about how much juice you're giving to the other person, because this entire giving thing might turn out to be a very toxic relationship that a lot of people are in. Not that I'm commenting, but yeah. Alright, verdict time. The X100 Pro is really a camera champion for me, and for people who are considering buying this phone, I think you might even consider just keeping your DSLR at home and taking a more portable version of the same. I'm not saying that you get excellent DSLR kind of quality, but wow, I mean, this is kind of very close in that area. The only battle I had was with the aesthetics, and that's because of this huge module on the upper half. It's a battle of ergonomics, and this design might not be as hand-friendly for a lot of people. It's got the processing power for your daily tasks, high-def content, gaming, everything, and it won't die on you at the end of the day with you scrambling for a charger here and there. So yeah, the battery is kind of taken care of. Price-wise, the Vivo X100 Pro is kind of treading in very dangerous territory, especially where the Apples and the Samsungs of the industry are kind of dominating. But I still think that this phone can pull its own weight. I feel the pricing of the Vivo X100 Pro is justified, especially for a smartphone that can leave your social media just looking like a wow.